this late was I think they had -1 rushing yards. Did that stand? Was it -1
Yeah,
last night?
there was at one point where they had -1. Yeah, I mean, it was very late in the game. I don't know where they finished at, to be
Their
completely
leading
honest with
rusher
you.
last night was Nelson Aguilar with 1 carry for 4 yards.
Yeah, no, they did not. They didn't really. They asked Mac Jones to do a lot. Like he had to be the reason that they were in the game because the running game was just so bad. And honestly, too, you know what else I want to say? From what I gather, Mac Jones. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where he's going to be at and how he's going to continue to progress. But I mean, I saw so much. He reminded me so much of Tom Brady last night. Like just making the short, quick throw, being decisive, knowing where to go. Like he did veteran QB things last night that you wouldn't expect to see out of a quarterback who only started 1 year in college, where they play what 12 games. Well, he played at Alabama, so like 14 games, whatever, 15 games, and then he played 3 games in the NFL. So in 18 games, he's progressed that much. I mean, it's actually amazing.
What more can you ask for?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's amazing, and I don't know. It's just something that really stood out to me.
Yeah. Well, one thing that stood out to me actually didn't really have to do with the game itself. Was Brady was cheered pregame when he came out on the field. Everyone was cheering. Oh, great, Tom's back and everything. And then as soon as he takes the field for his first drive, you hear boos everywhere. And I thought that was a very interesting scene. I guess the Patriots fans were thinking, "Oh, it's game time. Yeah, you're not on our team anymore. We don't like you anymore." Yeah, I just thought it was weird.
All right. Well, we got the elephant in the room. Besides the Patriots game, we have another guest with us, joining us today. Matt Mchale is on. Matt, can you hear him from there?
Yes, Jimmy, I can.
He's coming on through the computer, I believe.
Yeah,
Can
so
you
I will
hear me?
try to figure this audio out.
We'll figure it out.
Can you talk now? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
there he is.
Perfect.
There he is.
All right.
Matt, we were just discussing the Patriots game last night. Of course, they played the Buccaneers. What did you think about that last night?
I think Mac Jones is a solid quarterback. I think he could do everything they ask him to do and more. I didn't catch the whole game, but I did catch the Broncos game.
Oh my god!
And I want to say one thing.
Talking about the
if
Broncos.
I was coach,
we're not talking about.
Listen, if I was Coach Harbaugh, I would have done the same exact thing.
Oh my god! All right. Well, you know what? Since he brought it up,
give it to him, Matt. Give it to him.
No. Since he brought it up, I do want to get into that. Have you said everything you want to say about the Patriots?
Yeah. In case anyone didn't know, Tampa Bay ended up winning 19-17. It's too bad that Nick Folk went off the post at the end.
Very quickly, I want to say I thought it was a dumb decision to kick the field goal from there, from 56 yards. I would have went for it on 4th down.
Yeah. I mean,
just because if you got 10 yards closer, I think it was a much more makeable kick.
That's true. There was also 59 seconds left or something like that. There was still a minute left.
Yeah, there was still time.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I guess, I don't know. You just live with it and move on.
I mean, it's just so stupid because it hit the side of the goalpost. But whatever. Get into it. It's a tough loss for the Patriots. But since we want to get into the Broncos, I know that everybody wants to hear me say, like, oh, I hate the Broncos. I'm going to be honest. I don't really think that yesterday's game is that big of a deal. Only because of the injuries that we had. And listen, I could sit here and I'll be crucified and people are going to say, oh, he's just coming up with an excuse. I really am telling you right now, yesterday's game, I'm not saying it was a fluke. We didn't play good. I'm just saying don't read too much into it because we're missing 2 starters on the offensive line who are going to be back. And we also lost our starting quarterback at halftime. I mean, yeah. How can you tell the offense that played the first 3 weeks of the season is not the offense that was out there yesterday?
No, I agree with you. It's just, it is kind of a big deal because everyone's talking about, oh, the Broncos haven't played anyone good yet, and they finally played a good team.
Yeah, and you know what?
And I know they didn't play well, but like everyone's going to point to, oh, let's see when they play good teams, and they play the Ravens, who are a pretty good team. And we saw what happened. But it is bad luck. I mean,
credit to the Ravens. Lamar Jackson played a good game. He didn't turn the ball over. He made the passes he had to make. I mean, I'm not really sure what else we could have done on defense because Lamar played well. We only gave up 6 points in the second half.
Yeah, Matt, what are your thoughts on this game yesterday, Ravens-Broncos?
I'm going to tell you this, Jimmy. The Broncos, you can
let's hear it.
You could say their defense is good. I'll give it to you. They play good against most teams, but they have not seen anybody yet. They have seen a combined 0-9 record, three teams.
You're wrong because the Giants and Jets won yesterday.
Going into this week. Okay, Jimmy. I think Teddy Bridgewater, I think he's mediocre.
Mediocre. Come on.
Jimmy, listen. He's the worst quarterback in that division. Give me Herbert, give me Derek Carr, and give me Mahomes.
Okay, but that's a terrible. You're acting like he's way worse than he is.
I think he's an 09 Mark Sanchez of the Jets. That's what I think he is.
Sanchez, come on.
Yeah, that's what I compare.
I'm not saying that Teddy Bridgewater is some top 10 quarterback, but give me a break.
He is good. I actually agree with you that he is the worst quarterback in the division.
But what does that say though? Because that doesn't mean Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes,
I know.
He's better than your quarterback.
I know, that's my point. Like, I don't think that means much. I just don't think they play well. I mean, I didn't really watch most of the game.
It's one bad game. It's 3-1.
It's just one loss. The question is, like, will they be able to bounce back? That's really going to be the question. Are they resilient?
It's tough though because unfortunately Teddy Bridgewater was hurt on a BS play. A BS. I just said it. BS. There should have been a penalty. That was a helmet-to-helmet hit, and it was a late hit. It should have been rough in the passer. Should have been a helmet-to-helmet.
Can I ask you? I actually don't know what Bridgewater's injury is.
He had a concussion.
Oh, concussion.
So he's going to be out for this week, and I would assume with all the protocols, he will probably be out next week too. He's probably going to be out 2 weeks.
Drew Lock you think he's ready to answer the bell?
Let me say this. The only thing I could say about Drew Lock yesterday is he looked like a guy who came into class and didn't know that there was homework. And he was surprised when the teacher asked, or he didn't know there was a test. His teacher said, all right, guys, take out everything but, put away everything but a pencil. And he said, oh, there's a test? That's what Drew Lock looked like yesterday. He was so unprepared.
Drew Lock has been on cruise control ever since he was told he was the backup quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater. You think this guy is prepared at all?
No, I said
your schedule does not get any easier from here on out, Jimmy. You guys are in a very tough spot right now, and you don't realize that.
I never said that we were in a good spot. I just said so the plan is for the Broncos, hopefully they get their 2 starting guards back. Let's go from there. If the team still stinks next week when the offensive line is there and plays, then we have a problem. But, I mean, I don't know how you can judge off of that game is what I'm just trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, people are going to be like, oh, they finally played a good team and they lost. So is that the real Broncos? But I don't know.
You got to dig deeper than that, though. You got to ask more questions.
Yeah.
Why did they not play good?
Yeah.
Like Matt Mchale, let's go over to you. Jeffrey, let's go to you. Why did your teams play the way they did yesterday? Why did the Eagles, I mean, honestly, they played good on offense, but their defense is horrible. Why was the defense horrible all of a sudden?
It was weird because we didn't really give up many big plays down the field to Kansas City, and that's usually how they burn teams. We didn't really give up many big plays. I don't know. They kind of just marched down the field. They controlled the clock.
But there has to be a reason. I mean, they're just better.
I mean, they're just a better team. I mean, we actually were keeping up in the first half for the most part. And then the problem was we just had too many field goals. And Kansas City, they scored a touchdown every drive until the third quarter when Mahomes threw an interception.
All right, well, Matt Mchale, why has Daniel Jones started playing good all of a sudden? There has to be a reason behind it.
He's been playing good the whole season, Jimmy.
He didn't play good week 1. He didn't play good week 1.
I wonder who they played week 1.
Yeah, who'd they play week 1?
They played the Broncos week 1, but he was not the issue, Jimmy. He was not, there was
turnover in that game.
No. How many turnovers did Daniel Jones have this season? 2? 1 was on a Hail Mary. Like he's not the issue. This is a long time coming for Daniel Jones. He's been improving every week he's got out there, and now he's showing it.
I mean,
he has looked impressive.
He has looked impressive. I'm not saying that, but there has to be a reason he got better. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying you got to dig deeper. He has improved. That's worth noting. Now, I wonder why he has improved. Hey, maybe could you just say there's better players around him? I mean, they added Kenny Galladay. They added Darius Toney.
He's in a good situation now. He's improving. Like, I don't want to hear any Daniel Jones slander right now, man.
You're not understanding. I'm not Daniel Jones slandering. I just asked you, why do you think that he has played better this year compared to last year? I think your answer is because he has more key players around him. I mean, also too, I mean, if we're being honest here, I mean, we could say this about any team. Why is Justin Herbert look so good? Like there's more, like, why did he look so much better than Tyrod Taylor when he came in? Like, maybe he's just a better player.
Actually, wait, I need to interject real quick. My brother just texted me. He goes, Yeah, tell Jimmy Eagles defense has been bad all season. Besides week 1 versus a bad Falcons team.
Yeah,
he's kind of right.
I don't. I mean, did they really look that bad versus the 49ers though? They gave up 17 points.
Yeah, I guess the second half, because first half they were lights out. The defense.
No, I'm saying like what happened from the 49ers game to the Cowboys game because it's been a disaster.
49ers, they just ran the ball down our throats. Cowboys, we just couldn't. Dak was slinging it everywhere. They were coming at us in so many different directions.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's what Kansas City did. I mean, it's tough when you play Dallas and Kansas City 2 times in a row. Like, two top flight offenses.
Yeah, and then who do you guys have next week?
We go to Carolina.
Oh yeah, so
it's kind of a slight downgrade.
Yeah,
even though they're 3-1. I mean, they're going to be hungry too. They're coming off a loss.
Hey, you want to talk about a good team? How about those Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I did not see that coming.
I did not see that coming either.
At all, I did not see that coming.
Jimmy,
what's up, Matt? What do you got to add here?
Also, I wanted to call you out because you were giving Lamar Jackson all this slander before the season. You've been nonstop on the hate train for Lamar Jackson, and he just showed up and played a career game against your team.
Yeah, he played a good game. What did I sit here and say on Friday? I said we have to force Lamar Jackson to pass because that's our best chance to win. And you know what? We did because we stopped the run, except for the last play of the game because John Harbaugh's a jerk. But we forced them to pass pretty much the whole game. And credit to Lamar, he made the passes.
Matt, I want to ask you about the Giants. Obviously, they got their first win yesterday. They go to Dallas next week. Where do you think they're going to go from here? Like, are you hopeful that they can maybe dig out of this hole and maybe come back in the NFC East race? Do you think they can do anything?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think we're injured. We're banged up right now. Blake Martinez is out. He's a key player.
That's a bad loss for them.
We have a very tough schedule coming up. I'm realistic about the Giants. I'm not going to sit here and say they're playoff contenders, Super Bowl contenders. I think that they need more pieces in order to be good. I think they're young. I think they could develop. I think they can be good in a couple of years, but this year, no.
Okay.
I'm realistic about the Giants, and I think Jimmy Cody should also be realistic about the Broncos.
Oh my God, put a sock in it. The 3-1. Okay, if the Raiders lose tonight, do you know who's in first place in the AFC West?
Yeah, it's week 4, Jim.
Okay, but I'm still saying
work cut out for you.
We still do have our work cut out for us. You're right.
Yeah, you know what, Matt? I actually can relate to you because the Eagles are in the same boat. Young team, not supposed to do much. We have a really tough schedule too. I mean, we're both in the same boat here.
Right.
Well, you can only play who's on your schedule, boys. So, I mean, you may as well start beating those teams instead of complaining.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. We're just not as good as the other teams that we play. It's that simple.
We're realistic about it.
Yeah, well, you're realistic because you're not good. We're 3-1. There's a difference.
Jimmy, we're gonna be ending up in the same spot in the playoffs on our couches, all 3 of our teams.
maybe,
and we're just gonna have better. We have better upside than you, and we're
better upside. What upside do you have? You're gonna go get torched this week by Dallas. What upside is there?
I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about our future is a lot more promising than your future.
What is the difference between the two teams? I don't understand. You have a quarterback who's played a couple good games. Is that what you're talking about?
We're just going to continue building young prospects in the draft, and we're gonna be well off. We're going to fill
Joe Judge we trust.
Yeah, and Joe Judge we trust.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know like what evidence you got that all this magical stuff is going to happen. What's the little fairy from the Peter Pan movie? Tinkerbell? Is she going to come like grant you guys wishes or something and turn Daniel Jones into like Tom Brady? Or is that like what's going to happen? And because I don't understand like where you think like all this great improvement is going to come from.
I just think it's better than yours because our division is definitely not as strong as your division.
No, you're right. You don't play against good teams at all.
You know what the sad part is, Matt? Dallas is probably going to run away with it, barring like another team coming out of nowhere and like contending with them. Like Washington's probably the second best team in the division.
Yeah, and then they've struggled with the Atlanta Falcons yesterday. Who the Giants also lost to.
Also, they're supposed to have this really good defense. It's supposed to be made to stop everyone. They gave up like 40 to Buffalo. Like,
no, the Washington football team hasn't looked really that good at all.
So I'm afraid to say this, and I hate to admit it, but like Dallas should win this division pretty easily.
Yeah, they absolutely should.
Yeah, I agree.
And especially when they get to play honestly, if the Broncos got to play the Giants, the Eagles, and the Washington football team 6 times this year, And that would be pretty nice. I mean, I would be feeling pretty good about myself too.
Yeah, you could say that about a lot of other teams too, Jim.
Yeah, no, you're right. You could.
You could.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're on an interesting pass right now because Giants and Eagles are still trying to find their way. Broncos are sitting at 3-1. They're right in the thick of it. I guess we'll just have to watch the games and see what happens, right?
Very quickly, Matthew, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And it is about the Giants.
Okay.
If there's one move that you could make that would like put the Giants over the top, because you're saying they're a team with a lot of potential. Like what would the move be? Like, granted, just imagine that they're all healthy and like Blake Martinez, who is a very good linebacker,
Right.
is
You know what
playing.
my first move would be in this offseason?
Yeah.
Fire Jason Garrett.
Fire Jason Garrett?
Fire Jason Garrett. Get him off my team.
Not a Jason Garrett guy.
You don't like the clapper?
No, I think his offense is ran in 1992. It was good.
Oh, have you seen the Broncos offense? Because it might be worse.
Yeah. Well, Pat Shermer's no.
Yeah. Oh, Pat Shermer's a moron. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's what I would do. Fire Jason Garrett.
Who would you want to bring in, or just anyone would be better than Jason Garrett?
Oh, I don't. I'm not really caught up with the coaches. Like I can't go out and tell you what coach I want, honestly. But
no, I mean I wouldn't expect you to know. I'm just saying if you had, didn't know if you had somebody in mind.
Maybe like a good college coach, maybe like a new perspective to the way the NFL is going.
Just hire another Sean McVay assistant. Isn't that what everyone else does? Or call a Shanahan assistant?
Yeah, we got to get Daniel Jones running the ball too. Like that's what we got to do. I think we're going to be fine in the future, but like I said, this year is definitely not our year.
So let me be honest with you. Now I have another question about the Giants. I know like they got their first win yesterday. This is a big deal. I mean, what is that? The first win since they took that boat picture? I mean, it's been a while, right? So just really quickly, what are you hoping for Saquon for the rest of the year? He played a really bang up game yesterday, played pretty well in my opinion. He had an awesome touchdown. He had 2 touchdowns though, to be exact, but he had one really nice where he ran a wheel route up the sideline after lining up as a wide receiver. What are you looking for Saquon? Because obviously he really hasn't played that great the first couple games, but yesterday he looked really good.
Right. I want him to get out end the season in one piece. I want him to be healthy.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, that's pretty important for a wide receiver or for a running back.
If you're talking schematically, I want to get him the ball 10 times, throw him the ball 10 times. Let him run. Like the offense has got to be based around him, He's their best player offensively, and there's no question about it. And yeah, that's what use him like the Saints use Kamara, some sort of like that.
I mean, yeah, no, I agree. Throwing him the ball is a good idea because you can get him in space more often than you can if you're running the ball.
And that's where he does his damage.
And
he
also,
is really good in space.
And also, for being honest, the Giants really don't have that strong of an offensive line, so it's kind of tough to run behind. Would you agree, Mchale?
Yeah, I would agree in a sense, but they're banged up right now, but they have talent in Andrew Thomas. He's graded the 8th best tackle this season. He had shut down Cam Jordan this week. He had one hurry. He's going to be a good player, and we can base our offensive line around him.
Yeah, I would hope he's good. They spent with number 4 pick on him. Yeah.
And drafted him early, and he's been proving himself this season.
Yeah, speaking of offensive lines, I was impressed with the Eagles' offensive line yesterday. I know we lost, but considering we were down 4 starters, I thought we actually held up well. And I credit Sirianni because he was making Hurts throw the ball very quickly. I was impressed.
Just realized you 2 boys are in a barn burner for last place in the NFC East.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're fighting for draft position.
Fighting for draft position. Very crucial going on there.
Jimmy, you know what I'm going to call you?
What?
First quarter Cody.
First quarter Cody? Why is that?
That's all you're worried about. You're only worried about the first quarter of the season. And then once your team starts playing real teams, you're going to be in trouble yourself.
All right. Well, we play the Steelers. We go on the road to Pittsburgh this week. Historic Heinz Field.
The Steelers are that good. The
Steelers you're not, but also if the Broncos lose that game, you won't be hearing me talk about the Broncos too much after that.
Right.
But also at the same time, I mean, Drew Lock's the quarterback. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's not like a fair way to judge.
All 3 of our teams have tough road games. I mean, Eagles go to Carolina, Giants go to Dallas, and Broncos go to Pittsburgh. I know Pittsburgh hasn't been good this year, but they're going to be hungry for a win.
They're going to be hungry for a win. They're going to see Drew Lock and think barbecue chicken. That's what they're going to think, especially with the way Pat Shurmur calls the plays.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
All right, so I know, Mchale, that you talked about this at the beginning, and I know we've been talking about the Broncos and all these other teams, but I really want to hear both your thoughts on this. The play at the end of the Broncos game where Lamar Jackson, they could have kneed it. Coach Harbaugh decides that he's going to snap it, and they're going to run for their 4 yards so that they can get over 100 yards and set the record for most consecutive 100-yard rushing games. Do you guys think that that's as BS as I think?
So I actually didn't see the play. But I don't think that's
well,
not
the Ravens
right.
posted it on Instagram, so you can actually go look because it's something that they're celebrating. Oh, Instagram's also down, though.
That is true. Instagram's been down.
Yeah,
I've been on Twitter the last hour.
Yeah.
The memes are immaculate.
About Instagram being down.
It's the best. Whenever Instagram's down or any social media, go to Twitter. You will not be disappointed. Anyway, I didn't see the play actually, but no, I mean, I get that this record means a lot to you, but like, come on, like for the spirit of the game.
Does I wonder if the record gets them any playoff wins, because I know that's something the Ravens really struggle with.
Yeah, yeah, Lamar only has one. No, I mean, I don't think that's morally like right. I don't know. Just like kneel. I mean, you're winning the game. Like there's 3 seconds left. Just kneel it. You already won. Like I don't know.
Mchale, anything to add?
Yeah, I would. If I was Coach Harbaugh, I'd do it 10 times out of 10. The Broncos.
Oh my God! Give me a break.
Broncos
no reason to do it.
Why?
Oh, you got your record. Good job, Coach Harbaugh. Congrats.
I do it against the Broncos in particular too. I just don't think they're a classless team.
The Broncos are a classless team.
Yeah, they're a classless team.
How are they a classless team?
On and off the field, they're not good people. I would have done it 10 out of 10 times.
No, he's just being stupid. They're not a good team. Give me a break.
Well, speaking of good teams, shall we talk about the New York Yankees?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about our New York Yankees.
Yeah,
led by the All-Star Gleyber Torres, everybody's favorite player.
Yeah, I know you two are diehard Yankee fans. They obviously have the wild card game tomorrow night up at Fenway against your bitter rivals, the Boston Red Sox. Tomorrow night it will be Garrett Cole facing off against Nathan Eovaldi. I don't know. I want to get both of your thoughts. I guess how you feeling going into the game.
Mchale, I'll let you go first since you're the guest.
Yeah, Nathan Eovaldi, a former Yankee. I think we will have no problem hitting him. I expect a lot of runs early in the game, and I expect Cole to play clean baseball game. Unlike me this weekend, I actually had a game for the Loyola Club baseball team. I got shelled a little bit, but
I was in attendance. You did great out there, Mchale.
Thanks, Jeff.
Well, he just said he didn't do great, so
I didn't.
No, you persevered through. No, you were.
I persevered. I got the third out. But
you did. Yes, you did.
Hey, remember, Rome is not built in a day.
Right.
If the Broncos can improve, you can improve.
Yep, you're right.
I will say though, Loyola Club baseball, I love the positive vibes. I feel like every time your team scores a run, you get now, everyone's like hype about it. I love it. I love the positive energy.
Oh yeah, club baseball is great.
A lot of positive energy there.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to do maybe we need to take that positive energy and get involved with the show. We need to do a crossover with the Loyola.
I really think we should. That would bring a lot of viewers to the show too.
Mchale, you're not worried about the Yankees getting runs off of Aldi? You think there will be no problem there?
I mean, like obviously it's one baseball game. Like anything could happen. You can go out and score 6 runs. You can go out and get shut out. You know, like it's gonna be a tough task, but I think the Yankees personally can do it. I think we have a lot of solid hitters, a lot of guys that are getting hot now, and I think we should be all right.
Jimmy, what do you think about this game?
I'm going to piggyback off of what Matt Mchale said. Obviously, I'm going to be hopeful because it is our team. We obviously want to win, and we obviously think highly of our team. But let's not ignore the fact that the Red Sox have beaten us along most of the majority of the season. Obviously, we swept them that one series, but we haven't really played that great against them. I'm nervous. I'm always nervous, like especially when it's one game. Anything can happen in one game. And when I think of the wild card, I always think of that one game where we had Luis Severino start when he was a younger player, and that was a couple of years ago. And he just got absolutely shelled in the first inning. And we ended up having a great comeback. But the problem was, I mean, that was one game.
Was that against Minnesota?
Twins, yeah. Who are just an epic failure of an organization. Just complete losers.
I actually thought they were going to be really good this year, and
Yeah.
obviously we saw what happened.
The Twins are just failures. They're kind of like the Phillies, Jeff.
Ooh.
And the Mets. They're kind of like those teams. That's why
I'm just glad that we finally clinched a winning season for the first time in 10 years.
82 and 80?
82 and 80.
Oh my gosh. Not 81 and 81.
The funny part was we were 81 and 76, and we finished 82 and 80.
Well, I mean, what do you expect from a team like the Phillies? But anyway, getting back to the game here. I mean, obviously, it comes down to the performance we get out of our pitching. I mean, I actually watched Nathan Eovaldi in his last start. I was there when he played at Camden Yards, and he pitched really good. I will say, from our seats, we had very good seats. We were behind home, and he's got some movement on his pitches. Let me tell you, he is not easy to hit. Watching him versus watching the Orioles pitcher, I mean, it's like watching just two guys who you can't even believe are on the same field because, I mean, Nathan Eovaldi, he's got some good stuff. But obviously the Yankees have good hitters. And the Yankees, you know, they've been in this kind of like playoff mode, as have the Red Sox, though, for a little bit. So I think these two teams are ready, and I think it's going to be a great game. I mean, I don't really know if I'm leaning any specific thing because I think Eovaldi and Cole are both high-quality pitchers. Obviously, they're both two good lineups. A lot of great players on both sides. Rafael Devers, Bogarts, Kike Hernandez, and then you got Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton. Obviously, we don't have LeMahieu because LeMahieu is hurt, so that is going to hurt us a lot.
Yeah, that's a big loss.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing I am most worried about is not having him. But you know what? We got to rely on some of the other guys. You know, we brought Rizzo in here. He's got to make things happen. Gio Urshela, he's been playing well. We got to rely on him. And then also, too, we got to rely on the one, the only, Gleyber Torres, everyone's favorite player who did not run out a ball on Saturday. It was a pass ball at home. And then he just jogged it down to first. And the Yankees were getting blown out anyway. But, I mean, it's still annoying to see Gleyber Torres. You would expect better than that.
Yeah, I'll just jump in here real quick. I think both these lineups are really good. I think the Yankees, if they're like, I feel like they're built around power. So if
they're definitely built around power.
If they're hitting home runs tomorrow night, like a few of them, like I mean, chances are like they're gonna have a good chance to win. I'm just afraid that like if they're struggling, like and they can't get anything going, like that's trouble. Because honestly,
definitely is.
I mean, I like both the lineups. Like I said, I mean, Boston's got some great hitters, and like you said, not having LeMahieu is huge.
It is.
But the thing is, I think we can all agree the pitching matchup definitely favors the Yankees. I mean, Garrett Cole. I mean, you're not going to take Garrett Cole over anyone else besides like maybe Jacob deGrom. But yeah, Eovaldi's good.
Eovaldi's a good pitcher though.
But he's no Garrett Cole. If Garrett Cole's on his game and he gets run support, I mean, I don't see how the Yankees would lose.
Hey, maybe he'll have some spider tack too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember watching one game about a month ago. He pitched against the Angels and he had like 15 strikeouts or something. He was like lighting it up. And we get that like Garrett Cole where he's striking out people left and right. Good luck to the Red Sox.
Now, Jeffrey, honest question, because you are the unbiased one here. Obviously, you are a Phillies fan, Philadelphia dumpster fires. Who do you think is the better team in this situation? The Red Sox or the Yankees?
I hate to say it. I think the Red Sox are a better team.
Okay. No, that's fair. Like they've had our number.
I just like their lineup more. I think there's a more balanced lineup. Also, I feel like you know what you're going to get out of them. I mean, the Yankees could be red hot or like ice cold. I don't know. I would have more faith in them. But I don't know. It's one game. Like Mchale said, anything can happen. It's one game. It's do or die. Win or go home.
Mchale, anything to add to that really quick? Of what Bozzy just said?
I will just say though real quick, if the Yankees move on and play Tampa Bay, I think they would have a better shot at beating Tampa Bay than the Red Sox do. Because I think they have like the power to like do it. Like, you know what I mean?
That's surprising. I actually don't know if I agree with that. But Mchale, what do you have to say?
Like I said earlier, game of baseball, it's one game. It's a wild card game. You know, anything can happen. I'm hopeful that the Yankees pull out and win, but it's like I said, it's one game. Anything can happen. And I'm just hoping for the best.
Yeah. I mean, there's not really much to say besides that.
I'll also say, I think it's kind of a shame that the Yankees aren't hosting this game because they were locked in as the number one wild card for like a while. And then all of a sudden, the last day, Boston just takes it over and now they get the host. I think that could be a big deal too. Just having the home field.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I think it's cool that it's at Fenway Park.
That's
It's obviously
true.
one of the historic ballparks.
And I don't think they've ever been in the wild card before.
Oh,
The
really?
Red Sox? Have they ever been in the wild card game? Like the current
No, you know
era
what?
of
They
it?
haven't.
I don't think they
You're
have.
right. They haven't because they won the division.
Yeah.
The Yankees are in it every single time, it feels like.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a good game for sure.
I remember the last time that we played the Red Sox in the playoffs. We didn't do too good. So I remember Brock Holt hit for the cycle, actually. So when Brock Holt's hitting for the cycle, that's a problem. We got smoked that series. So
I do think
Man.
it's going to come down to like a key hit. I think someone on either team is going to have a very key hit, like in the 8th or 9th inning.
Be honest though, how happy is MLB that this game is happening?
Oh, they are so
they
happy.
Are so pumped. This is like ratings galore.
They definitely did not want Toronto and Seattle playing each other.
No, they did not. They were so happy when they saw the Yankees are playing the Red
only
Sox.
The only draw for Toronto and Seattle is that Toronto, they have a nice, exciting young team, and Vlad Guerrero Jr. is one of the rising stars. And Seattle would just be like the story of breaking the drought for like 20 years. MLB should be licking their chops that this is the game.
Yeah, well, also Rob Manfred hates fun, so I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries and make sure that this game is, as boring as possible too.
Yeah,
no one's allowed to cheer.
Yeah, real quick before we go to break, Mchale, do you have a score prediction? You think the Yankees are going to do it?
Yeah, I think they're going to win 3-1.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm actually surprised you said 3-1. I think there are going to be more runs than you think.
Oh, you think it's going to be high scoring with those two guys pitching?
No, I don't know. I just feel like once the bullpens get involved, I think both of them are going to go like 5 or 6 innings. I think you're going to see some long at bats and try to wear them down. I think it's going to be like a 7-5 kind of ball game.
Interesting. I'd like to see some runs, but I feel like if that's happening, it's not going to be favoring the Red Sox. Also, I want to say, I just want to point this out because I feel like every Yankees Red Sox game ever takes like 5 hours. So this is going to be like one of the longest baseball games ever. That's just like, I know that's going to happen.
I think the Yankees are actually going to win 9-0.
Good one.
That would be great for you guys.
I'm really serious.
I hope so. I would make my life a lot easier.
It can happen. Anything can happen. Yeah, we'll have to see.
All right. I think that's going to do it. We're going to take a break. Mchale, thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you coming on. I know you wanted to come on and stir some stuff up with me about the Broncos because
one last final thought.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Breaking news. I actually saw Jimmy Cody prancing around campus yesterday after the Giants win. So there's rumors going around that he's a closet Giants fan.
Oh yeah. Weird. Well, considering my closet is just half of Bronco stuff, and be honest, I want to say something. I saw this girl wearing a Bronco shirt today. That's guts to wear that shirt today.
Oh yeah.
That is guts right there to wear that after yesterday.
That might be your future wife, Jimmy.
Easy there, Mchale. Easy. Settle down. Well, she was getting her COVID test at the same time that I was. So,
I think it's meant to be.
I guess so. I wasn't wearing any Broncos things, though. So she could think that I was, prancing around being a Giants fan like you.
Yeah,
maybe.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much, Matt, for coming on. Always a pleasure.
See you later.
All right. See ya.
All right. We are going to take a very quick break here on After the Whistle. And when we come back, going to dive into some more MLB playoff talk. We'll also get a little sneak peek into some NBA preseason, NHL preseason talk. We'll be right back in a few minutes. Welcome back into WLOY Loyola Radio, streaming online at WLOY.org and Campus TV channel 111.1. You're listening to After the Whistle, Loyola's premier sports talk radio show. We heard from Matt Mchale. Before the break, he gave us great insight into how he feels about his New York Football Giants and how he's feeling about tomorrow's AL wildcard game, but with his New York Yankees facing off against the Boston Red Sox.
He owns the team. Yes.
No, I'm just kidding. His hometown team, I guess you could say. He's from New Jersey? Or is he from New York or New Jersey?
He's from New Jersey, yeah.
Okay, got it.
He's one of us non-gas pumpers.
Non-gas pumpers. I'll tell you what. The more that I think about it, it is kind of nice just sitting in your car.
I mean, you spend a lot of time in New Jersey, so
that is true. I do. It is nice when you just pull up and they do it for you.
Yeah.
It's nice knowing how to do it.
You get the best of both worlds. You're like the Hannah Montana song because you get to spend your time in New Jersey and they pump it for you.
Yeah.
And then you go to Pennsylvania and then you know how to pump it. So aren't you just living the best of both worlds,
I know,
Jeffrey?
I'm a very, very lucky man.
Yeah, you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to what I think is a pretty good game, to be honest with you. I don't know if it could top the other two primetime games. I'm hoping it can. But
can I say one thing before you introduce it? The primetime games this year have been unbelievable.
Yeah, they have been. You're right.
I would say besides
literally unbelievable. Yeah.
I would say besides week 1 Sunday Night Football, Bears Rams, every other primetime game has been
good.
Nothing but like dramatic. Like everything that you want in the game. Yeah. Very close, back and forth, like coming down to the final play. It's been amazing.
Yeah, no, it definitely has. I definitely agree with you about that. So anyway, tonight's game we have they're not San Diego anymore. Sorry. The Los Angeles Chargers hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. And I'm gonna be honest, I think this is a pretty good game. You get the team that just beat the Chiefs, and then you have the Raiders who are undefeated. So I mean, I don't know what more you could want too, because it's also a division game. Personally affects me a lot. I would personally like to see the Chargers win. But I mean, Jeffrey, I'll let you go first. What are you looking for in this game? What are your thoughts?
On the Raiders side, can Derek Carr just like keep it up? Like, can he keep doing what he's doing? Because he is playing out of his mind.
Well, they're going to have to, because Josh Jacobs is injured. He's not going to be playing. They've been relying on Peyton Barber. They haven't even been using Kenyon Drake, which I guess they just don't like him. I don't really know what to say about that. But, I mean, he's going to have to if they're going to win.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Peyton Barber hasn't been terrible. No, but he's no Josh Jacobs. Jacobs is a bell cow. You can give him the rock 20, 25 times, and he's going to produce. Yeah, I'm just very impressed with Carr. We all know the knack against him is like he's good, but like, can he be great? And he's showing that he can be great. And Henry Ruggs too. Henry Ruggs has had a good year. I've been impressed with them because week 1 I was like, okay, they beat the Ravens, but the Ravens kind of gave it to them. Week 2 they impressed me. They went on the road to Pittsburgh.
But how's that looking? Because Pittsburgh's not really that great of a team.
Yeah, that's true. I will say though, a road win in Pittsburgh is a good win. I think any road win is good in the league.
Uh-huh.
Maybe not against like the Jags. Yeah, that's it, and the Jets. But
and then who they beat last week? The Raiders.
The Dolphins.
Oh, they beat the Dolphins. Oh my God! Yeah.
Honestly, they did not. They were kind of clawing through that
game.
Yeah, they did not play well. But hey, there's gotta be some ugly wins in there, and they got it.
No, they definitely had an ugly win. That's for sure.
I will say though, on the flip side, Justin Herbert, he's just. I mean, how polished can you be as a second year? I can't think of any other quarterback who's more polished than him.
But he was good his first game too. I mean, I remember when I watched his first game, they played the Chiefs. I was just so blown away at how good he was.
Yeah.
I just was so amazed too.
Yeah, this is a really interesting game because it's an early season divisional matchup. It's a pretty even matchup. I think it's going to be kind of close. If I had to pick a winner, I'm going to take the Chargers just for the simple fact that Jacobs being out really hurts the Raiders. It's just so even. I can't really find an actual reason why. I guess LA is the home team, so I guess they have home field.
Well, think about this. There's what the most popular football team in Los Angeles is, right?
The Raiders.
The Raiders. Is it really going to be a home game?
That's true. I didn't really think about that.
There's going to be so many Raiders fans there.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I mean, all of the AFC West teams, but really any team, whenever they play the Chargers, just kind of takes over the stadium.
I will say I'm really impressed with Mike Williams too, because everyone talks about Keenan Allen being the best receiver in the team, and he is. He's one of the most underrated receivers in the league. But Mike Williams as a number 2, is
so up and down though. You know what I mean? He has a good stretch and he'll have a bad stretch. He's really not consistent, but it is nice to see him play well. If you're a Chargers fan, I definitely agree. But also, too, he was kind of in and out of the lineup last year because he was hurt. I mean, he's getting with Justin Herbert, obviously he's going to improve because Justin Herbert's a damn good quarterback.
Yeah, it's a very even matchup. You can definitely argue both sides.
No, you definitely can. And
who do you like in this game?
You know, I'm really torn. I really don't know what to make of the game because number one, I think the Raiders are a solid offense. Make no doubt about it. I like their offense. Their defense, I mean, it's decent too. I mean, it's just the one thing is like I just can't take that they played like that against the Dolphins just because I don't think that offense is that good. And I don't want to base it off of one game, but it was a home game too. So it was a game that I honestly think they should have played better. So I don't really know what to exactly make of that. But what I will say is I'm just kind of hoping that we get a good game. And I don't really know who I like. Like, I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of torn. I really am torn. I will say, though, I just don't know. I don't know what the Chargers are going to do on defense. Like, I don't like their defense isn't really consistent. You know what I mean? They have a good pass rush, but then the moment later they give up a deep pass. Like, they're just not consistent. And I do agree with you that Derek Carr will probably be able to manipulate their defense a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if we're being honest, Derek Carr has played really well. I mean, with the exception of like Kyler Murray, Matt Stafford, and Dak Prescott, you could even rank him ahead of some of those guys. I mean, what quarterback has played better?
No, I mean, he is definitely in there for MVP.
No, he absolutely is in there for
He
MVP.
could be the front runner, to be honest with you.
He could be the front runner for sure. I mean, the Raiders are going to run the ball. They're going to worry about time and possession. I mean, they're going to have Chucky obviously working the sidelines, Coach Gruden. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a toss-up of a game. I've seen the line is like 3.5.
I think LA is favored.
Yeah, they are. But I've seen it around 3, and I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I think the Raiders might win.
No, they could.
I do. I really do. And
usually these teams play each other very well.
All the AFC West teams play each other tough. I mean, they're gonna,
as you know.
Yeah. No, like this is gonna be a good game. That's why I'm like surprised it's 3.
Yeah.
I mean, Las Vegas is only like 2.5 hours away from.
Oh, people are definitely making the trek to LA.
Oh, I know. Well, people make the trek from LA to Las Vegas to go watch the Raiders play.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course they do.
So
I'm just excited because this game's in LA. I mean, I would be excited if it was in Vegas because I love those stadiums. I love SoFi Stadium and Allegiant Stadium. They're just brand new.
What do they call the Raiders Stadium? Like the
Death Star.
The Death Star, yeah. Whatever they call it.
The Death Star. We saw the Death Star week 1 on Monday night.
Yeah.
We'll be back there later. I think they play the Chiefs on Sunday night later in the year at the Death Star, like they did last year. They should have won that game.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm sure the Raiders will probably fail by then now because they always like to start the season off good.
They'll be like they'll be 5-1,
yeah,
6-1, and then they'll finish like 8-9.
Probably because it's the type of team they are. That's the thing. It's like I'm waiting for the Raiders to kind of come back to earth, just because I feel like we've seen this before, and I don't really know what to say besides that because I just don't know if I can trust them. I mean, I have confidence they can play a good game, but I just don't know if they're really going to bring it. That's
always the knack against the Raiders. Like, what Raiders team are you going to get? You're going to get the team from week 1 and 2 where they play pretty well and they win, or are you going to get the team from week 3? I know they won week 3, but they did not play very well. And the weird thing, and
honestly, I'm going to change my pick. I think the Chargers are going to win.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
Well, here's my thing with the Chargers. You talk about how the Raiders are kind of a wild card team. You don't know what you're going to get every week. You know, with the Chargers, pretty much every week, maybe besides 1 or 2 games, they're going to be in the game. I feel like every year, it doesn't matter who is the quarterback or who's the coach. They're in every single game they play. And
then they had
with Rivers.
Thankfully, they had Anthony Lynn before this to mess up.
I bring up Phillip Rivers because every game that he played with the Chargers, like they were in every single game. I remember the one year they went 4-12. And all of their 12 losses were by like 7 points or less.
Well, let me ask you something too. And this is something that I'm thinking about. We talk about the Raiders' good and bad performances, and we can't figure out which team they are. Well, let's talk about the game that the Chargers played versus the Cowboys. That wasn't a great game by any means.
No.
You know what I mean? I mean, I thought it was a game that they should have won.
Well, they were up early, right?
Exactly.
Was it 14-3?
Yeah.
Was it after the first quarter too?
Yeah, they came out hot. They were winning, and it was a game that they lost. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do you make of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also week 1 they played at Washington. They didn't play too great. They found a way to win, but they won. It was like 20-16.
No, I agree. That's why I'm really torn between these two teams. And I just don't understand how one team could be the 3-point favorite over the other.
Yeah. I guess the one thing is Herbert. Herbert's like, I think we can agree.
I think it's the recency bias. It's because they came off the win versus the Chiefs.
Yeah. I feel like Carr and Gruden, they can beat themselves. That's kind of how they don't play well. I don't know. I feel like Carr sometimes goes for these crazy plays and throws interceptions. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes Gruden's play calling is a little shady.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They definitely like to take their fair share of chances.
It's a very interesting matchup because these are very like similar teams.
They are. They're very similar.
The way they play, the way they have been playing, it's just like their history. Like
it's a division game.
Yeah.
The teams don't like each other either.
Oh no, they do not.
Yeah. So
we're both on LA winning.
I guess so. I can't really back either of them. I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think LA wins by like a touchdown.
Really?
I think it's be kind of close. I think I don't know. I just like the makeup of their team.
I think it might be a late field goal.
It could be.
I think it's going to be one of those.
I don't know. I love their talent. Like Herbert, Allen, Eckler, Williams. Like even defensively, James, Bosa. Like they got some guys.
Yeah, no, they got good players. There's no doubt about that. But I don't know. They don't always bring it every week defensively.
That's true. I think they're gonna. I don't know. I think they're gonna come out and basically show the world. Yeah, last week when we went to Kansas City, that wasn't a fluke. Like we're a good team.
Yeah, I know. I don't really know what to say besides that.
Yeah, so we're both on LA there.
So we still got a couple more minutes here.
Yeah, I want to.
Do you want to bring up something else?
I want to bring up something we don't talk about like ever. It's the NHL, hockey.
Hockey.
I know you're not a big hockey enthusiast.
No. When does the NHL start? What do you know?
So the season begins next Tuesday.
All right. Well, maybe we can work in some NHL people because I know that we do have a lot of people have reached out to me who are hockey people. And was like, hey, can I come on and talk hockey? And I'm like, I don't really know anything about that, but who knows what'll happen? I mean, maybe we can work them in somehow.
Yeah. Anyway. NHL preseason, we'll definitely have to have people on for sure.
Yeah.
NHL preseason is currently underway. Like I said, the season begins next Tuesday, October 12th. The great doubleheader. By the way, this is a very random thing, but the new TV partners for the NHL, ESPN and TNT.
Is ESPN going to use the good music? I hope they use the good music.
They do.
I hope they use the good music.
I will say I was watching a few preseason games last week on TNT.
I heard Wayne Gretzky's doing studio coverage.
I believe so. Yeah. I have not watched the studio coverage yet, but I love like the commentating because they
got a lot of guys from NBC.
People from NBC, and so it's kind of the same thing, just on a different channel. But like I thought they did fine. The new people were good.
Do they still have Pierre?
I don't believe so. I think
my roommate Derek said Pierre's working for.
I think he got hired by a team to do something.
Yeah, I think it was one of the New York teams. He said actually.
I think he might be right. I'm gonna look it up here. You know what he is? He got hired. He is going to be the senior vice president of player development for the Ottawa Senators.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So that's what it is.
Oh, I don't know why I thought it was a New York team then. My bad.
Yeah, Ottawa's close to New York.
No, not really. It's not at all.
Different country, too.
I don't know why I thought that. Sorry. See, this is why I don't get involved in the hockey conversation.
I'm just excited, not only for the new TV deals. It's going to be weird watching games on TNT and ESPN, but hey, it's going to feel like the NBA. But
are they still going to, honestly, say we want, I think they should have the NBA on TNT crew do the NHL coverage. Just let Charles Barkley just go off.
I guarantee that the Tampa Bay Lightning will be the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight.
Yeah, that's what they should do. And they should honestly they should play, when they do at the beginning of the season, like who he played for, where they ask Charles Barkley, like a bunch of random guys and what teams they're on.
Mm-hmm.
They should do that, but they should do that for hockey because I bet that would be a lot better. They can ask him probably the star players too.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I'm bringing up hockey. I think my two main storylines this year. Number one, in case anyone doesn't know, there is a new team in the NHL this year.
Oh yeah, the Kraken.
The Seattle Kraken have joined the NHL. They are the 32nd team.
The fans are called crackheads. That's what the fan base has called themselves.
Anyway, yes, they will be joining the league. It's the second expansion team that will be joining the NHL in the past 5 years after the Vegas Golden Knights joined in 2017. And it's funny I bring both of them up because they are actually playing each other on opening night in Vegas. So it'll be the Kraken's first ever game.
The Kraken. I just can't get over the
Kraken,
name.
yeah, the Kraken. They'll travel down to the Strip to face the Golden Knights. That's a 10 o'clock game on ESPN. And the game before that, this is my other storyline, the Tampa Bay Lightning. As you all know, they're the reigning back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. They open up their title defense against the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's the first game at doubleheader. That's a very interesting game.
And both those games are on ESPN.
Yeah, it's so strange. And the very next night, TNT has a doubleheader. So I think.
Like, how often is it going to be on ESPN? Like, is it going to be like baseball, where it's like Monday Night Baseball, Tuesday Night Baseball, Thursday Night Baseball?
So I'm glad you asked that. It's tricky because, as you know, the NBA, they have deals with TNT and ESPN, and so the NBA actually this year, they're having their games on Tuesdays for the first half of the season because they don't want to compete with Thursday Night Football. And then they'll add Thursdays later in the year for the NBA. But for NHL, Wednesday nights are going to be TNT nights. And then ESPN's kind of scattered. I think mainly the games on ESPN will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. There'll be a few Mondays, I think, there. And then later.
Who do you think gets better ratings since they're on the same channels? I mean, I don't know. Like, I know the NBA was very popular, but they've taken kind of a hit.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they've taken a hit. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe a new city. I mean, Seattle's a big market.
That's true.
And plus also, I mean, it was on NBCSN. Was it really marketed that well? Not really.
I don't think so.
Being on ESPN is a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I think TNT is an upgrade too.
I think so too.
NBCSN.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the ratings are going to be good.
I know.
I'm
actually interested to see, especially on ESPN too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think ESPN will have games Tuesday, Thursday, some Mondays. They also will add games later in the year on like Saturday afternoons and Sunday afternoons.
They should do Saturday night.
I think there's only one instance where I think there's an outdoor game in like February where TNT has it on Saturday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what channel is the finals on then?
Yeah, so I think it's even years. The Stanley Cup finals are going to be on ESPN, and then the odd years are on TNT. They'll just go back and forth every year. I think the playoffs are kind of split down the middle. Like each
Western
channel,
Conference, Eastern Conference.
Yeah, or TNT gets like two Western.
They're both going to have hockey and basketball. It's going to be a busy time for the folks over at
Turner Sports,
Turner and ESPN.
Yeah, I know they're going to have their hands full.
I hope. Listen, I'm going to be honest. ESPN. Sometimes when they do things, they kind of do them wrong. Like they don't make it as interesting as it could be. I hope they should just run everything like how they run the Little League World Series, because that is the best thing that they put on television.
You know what? They actually do a really good job with that.
Yeah, they do. It's a great job.
I mean, they interview the players. The Little League Classic, that was a great idea, adding an MLB game up there.
Yeah, that was a good idea. Your home state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah. I have to take a trip up there. That's on my bucket list.
You've never been?
I've never been up
either,
there.
But
there were no fans this year, only families of the players. But
when all the people are sitting on the hill, it's insane.
Yeah, and then they're sledding down the hill with the cardboard boxes, whatever. Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun scene.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Well, it's in Williamsport, right? Like, that's in the middle of nowhere? Is that where it is?
It's northern of where I live. Yeah, it is. I don't know if it's in the middle of nowhere.
No, it's in the middle of nowhere. Just say it's in the middle of nowhere.
No, I'm not going to say that because I don't know that for a fact.
It's probably in the middle of nowhere.
I'm not going to make accusations up here, Jimmy.
Well, I'll be honest. Cooperstown, New York is in the middle of nowhere.
Is it actually?
Oh my God, it's in the middle of nowhere. There's like nothing going on. There's just this little town out of nowhere.
My brother, grandfather, and my dad went up there.
Oh, because your brother goes to school, right? Like in Ithaca. That's not that far.
When he played baseball, he was invited up there. I think they had a game up there or something. I don't remember. I wasn't there. Yeah, thanks for the invite. No, I'm just kidding.
So you never been to the Hall of Fame?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Well,
I would like to go someday.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. But getting back to just real quick before we go, NHL. I'm excited to see if I just want a team other than the Lightning to win personally. I kind of get tired of teams winning. I mean, unless it's a Philly team, of course.
Well, you don't get tired because it doesn't happen very often.
As sad as that is, kind of true. Besides like 4 years ago. Can just someone dethrone the Lightning? That's the question. And the last 2 years, we've seen the New York Islanders. They've been the one team that's been knocking on the door. They've met them in the conference final last 2 years, but they have not been able to beat them. And the East is pretty good. I mean, you look at Washington, Boston, Pittsburgh. I mean, the Metropolitan Division is very good. The West is definitely weaker. I feel like Vegas has a lot of pressure. They've been very good the last few years. They're trying to break through. But like the Kraken, I don't think the Kraken are like Vegas because a lot of people are like, oh, hey, we saw Vegas did their first year. They got all the way to the final. I don't see that happening for the Kraken. I don't think they drafted the win right away. They drafted really well on defense. I just don't think you're going to be able to win every night scoring like 2 goals a game because it seems like that's what they're trying to do. And it's interesting to see what Dave Haxel does. He was the former coach of the Flyers. He's now running the show up there in Seattle. So we'll see. I'm excited for hockey. I'm actually way more excited for hockey than I have been in the last few years. But we'll get into that later on. We also have NBA to talk about once that gets rolling. Preseason started yesterday. So we'll have a lot to talk about. You got anything else to add before we go?
Nothing to add.
Yeah. All right. Well,
go Ducks in hockey because like I have 2 Ducks. And
do you like the Devils at all? Do you follow the Devils? Because that's like your closest team.
Yeah, obviously. They are like 30 minutes away. Well, it's more like 40, but whatever. No, I don't really pay attention.
I will say though,
I've never been to a hockey game ever.
Really? No. They are fun. I will say. Yeah. You definitely don't get bored. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's a fun place to be. Everything's so fast paced. The sounds, the sights, everything. I will say the Devils, they have a chance. They could be a sleeper team this year. They got some young pieces. Yeah, they got Nico. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Hearshire. I don't even know. Jack Hughes. They got a good squad up there.
Go Jersey, baby.
Go Jersey. All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you to all of our listeners for listening. We'll be back on Friday. We'll recap an interesting Thursday night game coming up between LA Rams and Seattle Seahawks.
Can't wait for that one.
Update you on the latest from the MLB playoff race as the division series will be underway by then. But until then, I hope you all have a great week, and we will be back on Friday. Take care.